23 is ABC.
Roman A, yeah, that is
Oh, yeah.
A.
3A.
Okay.
3A. So,
Okay.
okay, then the other point I wanted to request was that in line with what CAR is doing, and I think we're happy about the especially the collaboration with the Nairobi County. There was the public participation on the 20th of February, the city plan, urban planning and control. And the promise, many of us who are there, Mr. Kanaka was there, and the others in the association. And we made some very important proposals. And they promised that they are going to have the report in a month's time. Maybe I will be requesting you to way that Kara can help that about that report. That that the report where they are proposing about this high-rise some estates and things like that. And the resident association who are there, we made our presentations. So it's a way that Kara can help the association to get that report from Nairobi County.
Thank you very much for that.
There's another one.
All right, you want to ask another one?
Yeah, sorry. On page 7 of the minutes, minute number 6, page 7. So on B. The auditors were not appointed. Now, the first one who seconded it was Mr. Alan Kitabi, not Peter Kitabi. Alan Kitabi.
Or Alan K.
Kitabi.
Alan.
Minute 6.
Alan Kitabi.
Yes.
When did we get to Peter?
Peter is very
Yeah.
Okay, I think that is noted. Yeah, make
Correction.
correction. We've gone back to the minutes, but it's okay. I think never late
Correction,
make the
okay.
corrections. Yeah, where's the mic?
Thank you very much. I believe it was feedback to the chairman's report.
Yeah.
All of it, I think, volunteering and most parties offering themselves their services. We discussed it at the environment committee.
Yeah.
As Commonwealth World Access Alliance, the few partners that we have, we already have online radio, which we use to cascade information about our members. It would not be beyond our reach to say we shall be willing also to offer free of charge for members of CARA. Because the radio is still well, but we believe that there are some ideas which needs dissemination, and online radio will be one way of disseminating. We leave our doors open.
Okay.
We leave our doors open, any organization or any residents association which wants to cascade their ideas using our platform. We open 3 times a week. We are discussing. We open 3 times a week, free of charge.
Okay, I think that's an offer from Sam about an online radio.
Yes.
Maybe you want to say the radio frequency or the name so that members can be able to follow up
The
on that.
radio's name is Simbanes.
Yeah.
Simbanes.
Sibanes.
Yes. Simbanes online radio.
Simbanes
Simbanes online radio.
online radio.
So it is being an online radio, it is gotten through an app,
Yeah.
which is available on the Play Store. If you go in right now, you do Simbanes, you just automatically download it and you'll be able to access it. We have various programs. As we started working, I think that is 8-9 months ago, we realized that the big guy, the politicians coming, they are the people who normally move very fast.
Yes,
So
I
they are
know.
coming to say, no, take a break. We also want to more community people to come and disseminate ideas.
Wonderful.
Something which
Wonderful.
is sustainable and helpful.
Okay. So it's called the Sibanes online. Sibanes online. Yeah. Okay.
Simbanes. So when you are on the app, it's just saying Simbanes trading.
Yeah.
Simbanes trading.
Radio.
Yes.
Very
Okay.
good. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so I think we can get Sam's contact later for those who want to take advantage of that platform so that we can arrange for that to happen as we go along. We are still on the floor. The floor is still open for any reaction, any question. There's a hand here.
Yeah, I wish to laud the Government Council CEO for the good work that you're doing and for your initiatives. This is my first Kara meeting ever. I'm an official of a resident association in Kiambu.
Did you mention your name?
Yeah, my name is Frederick Kayuki, Mohasibu River Park
Okay.
Estate. In your report, Mr. Nyaga, you alluded to a number of initiatives and that Kara is doing with various agencies, some of them government. You spoke about the partnership with the Danish government, and that's also laudable. I can understand that there's a disproportionately higher number of estates or members from Nairobi. Nairobi is becoming saturated. I can see that there are some estates that are growing. I think Kiambu is also expanding. So I would like to challenge the Government Council that when you have like coffee with a COP, for example, please don't neglect. You said it happened with COPs in Nairobi. Please incorporate other counties as well. Even banks have relationship managers. So they look after everybody's interests, not just the... So we want to feel part of Kara, although we do note that the greatest membership is drawn from estates in Nairobi. That's understandable. But Nairobi is also becoming saturated and people are moving within the suburbs and some of them are falling outside of Nairobi. Yeah, so that is just what I wanted to share. Yeah. So in some of these initiatives, maybe challenge yourself and say, can we replicate this in Kiambu, in Mombasa, in Nakuru? Although I have noted that you're also doing some initiatives in some of these countries.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that, for the question.
Actually, collaboration with the association, resident association, or members depends on the officials of those associations. I can tell you for a fact that Kiambu used to be very active and used to work very closely with them during the time of Kabogo. As new governor, they feel restrained, they don't want to cooperate, but we had even meetings in Kiambu at one time. So we will be getting in touch and also get in touch with us, and we can see what the programs we can do together in Kiambu County to facilitate the development of the area. We are actually willing to do that.
But we have, as a resident association, we have very little to do with government.
Yeah.
So don't punish us because of whichever government I mean, we have nothing to do with you.
Yeah. I think we'll respond to that. Just start on that, but we'll give a response on that. The microphone, I can see there's a hand here. And the ladies in the house are very quiet. I've not heard from a lady, so we'll just get a kama ni kusalimia tu. We'll be okay with that. Wait, okay, have this please.
Thank you. My name is
Solomon?
Solomon
Juguna, okay.
Yes. I come from a small town between here and Kikuyu, along the southern bypass, called Zogoto, where the mission has started. I want to take forward the gentleman who is saying. I got invited here to an organization called Akrina, which is based in Kiambu, and the Zogoto Residents Association is a member of Akrina. I wanted to know, this is my first time here like him, is it possible for us to join Kara directly, or must we go to Akrina? Sorry, it was the chairman's report. I don't know if this is the right place to ask.
No, it's okay.
Because I remember we have somebody with membership. But it's my first time here. I've seen I might not be able to participate or to vote, so I don't want to be the wrong forum. But is it possible for us as a residents association to directly join Kara, or must we go to the umbrella association in Kiambu? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. They seem to be having a session with the microphones. Yeah. There's someone at the back.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm Peter Munzi, Chairman.
association. I think mine is just to congratulate our chairman for having brought us up to this moment, up to this time. And chairman, having attained at 83 and you are still with us, I congratulate you. And also welcome you, as you all said, if you wanted to retire, we say thank you because you have struggled and you have brought us to far. Thank you so much.
Asante.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. We said we must hear from the ladies before we close the floor. I can see a hand here.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Can you hear me?
Inafanya.
My name is David Mangula. I'm the chair of the Kiboko Residents Association.
Which one?
Kiboko Residents
Keboko.
Association. I realize we were not represented last week.
Speaker.
Ika.
Just for the purpose of, there was a gentleman from Kyoto. I would like to answer you. We are in Kiambu County. Being a member of ACUNA is just, it's not an avenue to CARA. You can actually be a member of CARA and not a member of ACUNA, or vice versa. But as residents of Kiambu, we find it valuable to be members of all residents associations. ACUNA is the Kiambu Residents Association of Kiambu Neighborhood Residents Associations. This is our CARA in Kiambu. Okay, so you can do either, you can do both or either one. It's all
Or both.
or both.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much for answering some questions on our behalf. We still have the floor open. I know that people who are online, maybe if there's somebody online who wants to ask a question or make a comment, you are free to do that. But we still have an opportunity to not just ask a question, but also make a comment. Maybe you can talk about your experience with CARA for the last year. I know we've done a number of things with a number of you in different areas. So maybe you want to comment on that. Your hand is up. Start.
Thanks. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm Rose Dinka from Kiboko Residents Association from Kiambu. And I want to say that I'm happy with what CARA is doing because we have influenced to realize that we have power to fight, not to fight and not with the negative part of it, but to fight for the rights of the people. And today I have seen that we're going to talk about the garbage collection and the right. So I think it will be addressed in the manner that we shall see how best it can be done because we have challenges in our place, especially issues of diapers. I don't know that at least if we have the same problem. Thank you.
Asante sana. Thank you. Okay, it's okay. Are we done with the comments, the questions, the reactions? Anybody online? No. There's none. Okay. Sorry? She wants to make a comment.
Yeah, okay.
Dr. Kitambu is our vice chair for CARA. She's based in Mombasa. Maybe she wants to bring greetings from Mombasa. So can we allow her to make a comment?
Yes,
Please, the media team. Sorry? Is she able to make a comment?
How?
You need the microphone.
Yeah, it should be there, but we can't see her. We can't even hear her.
Yeah, she's being enabled.
How?
Ready?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, louder. You.
Oh, it's not clear.
Can you hear?
We can hear you. Tell her to proceed.
You can hear. Proceed.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming and just to say hello and say that associations or the residents associations are what you do. And people should realize this and put the government to check and get their services that they pay for. It's very enhanced taxes. It is time now. I think that we should encourage even our neighbors who are not having associations, who have associations, and we should now get together and somehow take stock of who we are and how many of us we are, so that we can gain even more. Even the informal sector could also have resident associations for their own. That's all I would like to say for now.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, sure. Yeah, so thank you, Dr. for that, for the comments. And we received greetings from Mombasa. And Dr. has been actively engaging in current affairs in Mombasa. And we appreciate her for that. Just like the chair had said earlier, the governing council members are actively involved in a number of activities across the board. And of course, that is a contribution to the welfare of our communities. So can I assume that we don't have any further comments or any further questions that we can proceed and respond? Very well. Online, there's no one? Okay. Sorry? Who? Omanyala. It seems that committed through Vincent. Omanyala from Eldoret. I'm told you want to make a comment. Is he able to? In the meantime, we can take a hand there as we try to. He's ready. Okay. Caleb, proceed.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Secondly, you said with a lot of wisdom you are retiring. And retiring at the age of 83, we should be as a team celebrating your jubilee as you will also be exiting, that we should start to plan of your exit as of today. The team who will be there, put a trademark on our card system. 3, you have said with a lot of wisdom, that if there can be a way to consider that incentives for the governing council, not as still, but you have said that the governing council is actually there for you to engage. It's important that we also think back, the planners, that should there be sensitization countrywide at all levels, from towns to markets to cities, if we are really to grow, because we must be fed. Today there is nothing like a town, a city, everywhere is people are actually coming up together on the systems of living, because everywhere is almost being converted to the town system of life. If we can plan to do the sensitization countrywide, that will be the best for us to grow. Thank you. I hope I'm in hand.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Bwana Manyala from Eldoret, for those remarks. Let me take the last one there. I saw a hand there. Maybe that should be the last one, and then we proceed.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Makoha Andrew. I'm the chairman of Kitengela and also idea to move on. My appreciation also goes to Kara for the good work they are doing. And I think my appreciation to Kara may not be enough only by saying those words that I appreciate them. It will be really good for each one of us as a resident to ensure that we sensitize our people wherever we are, so that we become a force, a number that can maybe threaten someone. You realize that politicians like number development without the hand of a single individual resident association. That idea we see is helping us because people are coming from all over to come and develop there, and they get approvals from some of our crooked staffs in the government. But now we have put a check on them that they must, whoever it is, you must get a letter of no objection from a resident association for you to be able to achieve the approval for your development. Thank you, Kara, for this novel opportunity, and we are partners and we have to move forward for this. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that. From Kitengela, asanteni sana. So maybe before I respond, I don't know if any of the governing council members, I saw someone telling us to make a comment before now we close this. Mr. Karanko, just briefly, please.
You have to hand over the chair to me. Thank you very much, Henry.
The questions.
Good morning for those who have just come. I can see McKenny there. Why I have decided to just make a first comment is that I appreciate the man from Kitengela. And I just want to comment there from the perspective of what is it
There are not many questions.
that government
Most of them were
wants and government doesn't want. I can only say this. Kara will not be a political movement. That's one. So Kara is a political and not political. A political. Christians are theologically politicians by nature. You have seen what has happened with the Christians and the politics. They are fighting now over who to do what. So the position we are in is that your leadership must be in terms of advocacy and getting social responsibility and humanitarian challenges addressed, and the government put to its toes. We must deal with it from a political angle, not political. So we will not become a political movement. Sorry. The other one is about those in Kiambu, Kenya as a whole is under. Now, when we went to the last meeting at City Hall, the chief officer on the issue of high license, alisema, if you are not registered with the Kara, you will not visit it to anybody. Not here, the whole country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kanake, for that, for those reactions. I think that responds some of the questions raised here. Through you, Chair, I know it's supposed to go through you. So maybe if there's no other comment from the governing council, I can quickly respond to some of the questions raised. I think most of them were comments, so there aren't questions necessarily. So I'll just try and respond very quickly. On development control policy that we participated in, and I appreciate members because there are so many resident associations participated there. Kara was there, and we did submit our memorandum to the county government, and we expect that that should be taken into consideration. You may recall that this was not the first time that this policy was being tabled for public participation. I think last year, but one, the same policy was tabled, and we did give our input, but then it was put on the shelves. So they brought it up again, and I must appreciate our rep at the committee, Chris Dyker, because unknown to you, he's the one who actually insisted that this policy needs to be brought up and it needs to be enacted. So through that insistence, that's how it came for public participation again. And now that he is the chair of that committee, and we've been having a discussion with him, he has assured us that the committee, through its leadership, is pushing for that policy to be actually enacted this time around. Of course, it's not addressing all the issues we'd like to address, but at least we are starting somewhere, and it's really reflecting some of the concerns that we've been raising about uncontrolled development. So that is the pipeline that is going on. We are yet to get a formal response from the county on where they are at on that. So maybe when we get that, we'll be able to give you that information. And I know that this time around we have an eye on it, and we'll be able to make sure that it goes through. There was a question, I think this was an offer, we already talked about it, online radio, and then the Kiambu Residents Association. Our sister partially responded to that in terms of membership, and she was right, because the issues that you may require intervention of Kara, maybe at national level, and also the issue that can be dealt with at the county level through individual resident associations or through the alliance at the county. So yes, you are welcome to join both and be able to really engage depending on the issue at hand, so that it can be addressed at the right level. So I think that answers the question from the Kiambu team. And Akira are members of Kara. Actually, we've been very actively engaging with them on a number of issues, and we appreciate that collaboration. Kitengela Resident Association, I think they've talked, they've said what they're doing, and I know that they've organized a forum in May, which Kara is going to be one of the key speakers. They've invited us, and it's in July. Push it. Okay, it's in July. And of course, we're also working with them to have an engagement with the governor for Kajiado County, so that we can be able to align our collaboration at the county level and of course at the national level. The issue of committees, I think we have talked about that in terms of the committees that we have, and you are free to join membership. I think there's the issue of membership. The bona fide members in terms of paid up members is 103, but we have a number of affiliations across the country. Some of them are yet to for regular membership in terms of pay, but I know that they are coming on board so that we can be able to increase our numbers. But I want to say that there could be a perception that a number of activities are in Nairobi, maybe by virtue of the fact that we have most of members here, but I can assure you we are doing so many things across various counties. Just last week we were in Kilifi County, an engagement with Kenya Power, like was mentioned. We had a big forum in Kilifi County that brought together a number of resident associations. We have the Kilifi County Alliance with our anchor organization there, and we had a very productive conversation on issues about Kenya Power. Previously, just a week before that, we were in Kitui County on the same agenda. And we're also having programs we are running with UNDP that is touching in 4 different counties, and also our forums, the Bible Talk series, as some of you might have noticed. Nowadays, it's not just Nairobi-based activity. We have these forums in Kisumu, Nakuru, Eldoret, and many other areas. So we are actually reaching out to as many counties as possible, as we also try to make sure that the resident association in Nairobi are also benefiting from the activities of Kara. So maybe I just need to clarify that so that you don't feel like we are neglecting Kiambu or another county, but we are trying our best to make sure that we reach as many counties as possible. Having said that, I don't know if there's anything I've left out, and I know that some are still arriving. Just to bring up to speed, we are on the chairman's report. We are getting reactions. I've seen one Kariuki from Lamington walking in, and I know this past week, last week or this week, last week,
From last week.
up to this week, we've had a number of engagement with him. There's a battle we are fighting, and I hope that it's going on well on Kariuki. Do you want to say something on the chairman? On the action? I know you wanted to chair, but you read the report, especially on the issue that you are, so that you can be able to show what you are doing to address some of the challenges on urban and control development in your area.
Good morning, everybody. Mine is the experience that we have had in Jumbi Road in London, where the developers come to find a small tranquil corner of Nairobi with a lot of greenery, and they see, aha, this is where we are going to come and put up myriad houses and break all the rules, because we are in zone 5. And the experience we had was that City Hall gave their Chinese. They gave the Chinese the authorization on a zone 4 license, saying we are in Kilimani, which we have never. We are in Bernard Estate, and with that, they gave authorization for the construction long before we even knew, which they did in September. By the time we were getting to realize in October that there was something going on where they had put a post that there would be amalgamation, we wrote our letter to City Hall objecting to that, because the Chinese wanted to build 16 units in a place where the allowable maximum is 7. And this thing went on. We had a meeting with them. They would send some people saying they are their representatives, we never, and they would send some Chinese workers. And it went on. After that, NEMA gave the license, and we have been there with NEMA and told NEMA, please, we have objected to this, and we have had no public participation. They went ahead, the NEMA director in Nairobi, who we had been with, went ahead and still gave the authorization for construction. The long and short of it, we went to the assistant county commissioner. He gave the letter to stop. NEMA director Nairobi, that was in March, so that this thing is going out of hand. He sent a letter cancelling his earlier order, but the Chinese were still going on. They had been given authorization by the county to cut 5 trees. I don't know where the county comes in now, but I thought that would have been forestry. And they decimated all the old trees which were there, which were maybe over 100 years old. And they left the earth bare. Now, the long and short of it, I called Mr. Ochieng and told him, look, this is our situation. And he's told me, send me whatever documents you have. And in that, within 3 days, he had been able to get us a stop order and a revocation. So I'm totally grateful, because we had run around on our chain. We had been there for meetings 15 times. We had even been sent conmen by the same fellows masquerading as City Hall employees, and also some coming with the Prados, with the lights that ministers use, saying they are from anti-corruption. Unfortunately for the fellow, is a fellow I've seen being arrested many times by CID, and I told him straight in a meeting, look, you know who you are. And he looks at me and he says yes. You know you're a conman, and he says yes. That's how low that we are getting with the developers. As of today morning is when we are serving them at past there. I told them, but you have been stopped from construction, and they said, oh, we have not seen the letter. I said, well, we'll serve you with a letter, and we expect you to stop. And the police, the OCS had called, why are you stopping these Chinese workers from coming in? So they are very well organized within our government system. But it makes us look bad that somebody will come from wherever, they cannot break those rules where they come from, but they see the best avenue is using our government functionaries.
So Kara, thank you. Thank you again, because it is a body which gives us a voice. It is a body, I always commend Ochieng because he's built Kara from next to nothing to what it is, to a voice that now we can be listened to. And again, I say thank you for that you have done for Jumbi Road residents.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I wanted just to give a feel of some of the battles that are going on in this city and across the country. It's not easy. Some of them are very tough, and some of them are even life-threatening. But like the chair said earlier, we can't afford to give up. We might win some, we might fail in some, but we must be persistent and continue pushing until we get things in order. So that is the spirit. And of course, we count on you as members to continue working with us in that regard. So ladies and gentlemen, I can see a hand. I thought, is it something bad? Okay. Okay, quickly please, so that we can close this session.
Maybe just to advise the team from Lavington, we had a problem when we were living. We were having quarry mining for more than 20 years, and we just called the press, and it stopped. Just call the press.
We have called the press.
Wonderful.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. One of the things that we do when we gather this kind of forums is to learn from each other. Maybe there's something you are dealing with and you've reached a dead end, then you get somebody who has dealt with a similar issue and they're able to maybe copy what they did and you get your answer. So I don't know why hands are coming up and we are close this session.
No, I want to share something.
Okay.
In the same spirit. Yeah, good morning. Let me start. My name is Karuki. I introduced myself earlier. Chair of Masibo River Park residents. It's actually a welfare society. I want to share something also that came up where we stay. We've got a building code which is in harmony with the Kiambu County zoning and building codes. And we also have a constitution that all developers within our estate have to abide by. You know, there is no choice. And recently, we, Kiambu County, for the benefit of those, I think there are a few people here from the Board of Resident Association. For your benefit, because you're all anybody from Kiambu, there is a Kiambu County Community and Neighborhood Association Promotion of Participation and Engagement Act, which I know you're privy to because we had a chat. Yeah, so they had a public participation. I think it's only 2 estates, ours and Mr. Karanja. Mr. Karanja is the chair of Akirna. We were the only people who showed up at the. Is this okay. Yeah, so we actually showed up. We gave our representations. We submitted. They gave us the guidelines of how we can do it in a better way. But the long and short of it is that our submissions were accepted. They were admitted, and Mr. Kanake said earlier, mentioned earlier. Reverend Kanake, you mentioned that there was a function at City Hall where, I don't know who it was, who said that if a residents association is not a member of CARA, they will not be listened to. I think we should not be complacent as CARA. Make that policy. It's easy for someone to say if you're not a residents association, you'll not be listened to. But, you know, my namesake will be going through what he's going through. So I think it's good to make it policy. Kiambu County is trying to make it policy by this having a framework, legal framework for MOUs between resident associations and the county government. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing. I'm sure we are learning as we go along. So allow me to close that session, ladies and gentlemen, and perhaps hand over the mic to Mr. Chairman. Madam Chairman, karibu for the next agenda.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ochieng, for helping me, discuss the topical issues which affected us, all of us, during the year under review. And we have concluded our discussion on the report of the chair, and I want to thank all of you for being very active participants and obviously also for coming. It's not easy, leaving your home when it's raining, coming all the way to this part of the meeting. But I want to thank you on behalf of my colleagues, on behalf of Kara, for the volunteering your time to serve us and to serve your members as well. And they say in English that unity is strength. So I want to urge all of you that make sure that you join the organization in your neighborhood. You support it. I know quite a number of neighborhoods where people are very distant or they are detached. They don't want to be part of it. But I can assure you, when people in any neighborhood are united, you can achieve anything. I've seen it over the years. Whether it's the government, the corporates, whatever, when you go as a group, you say you are coming from Kara, you are coming from Tereresho, they listen to you and they respect what you say. So please, let's continue in this spirit of collaboration, of being together as a team. I'm just being informed that Mr. Naika has arrived. He is our new chairman in this committee, which actually works with City Hall. It's a very important committee. We always had a rep there since the times of Kidero. And Mr. Naika now is a current, he's an architect. Naika is our rep there as associations, and also the chairman of that committee. I'm told he has just arrived. Mr. Naika, can you identify yourself?
He's there.
Oh, there. So I'm going to give Mr. Naika a few minutes to introduce himself and to tell us how his committee in City Hall is going to be working and so on. Because these are major opportunities for us.
Yeah, so maybe just to, I hope you're not ambushed to Chris. And I've requested him to come and just give us his experience as a committee and maybe what we need to do as a resident association to support and make sure that it's effective. Our presence there is making a difference. So, Chair, just to mention that so that we put it in context. So, Chris, I hope you are ready. I know you just walked in, but we are closing that session. So
you can come.
Yeah, so you can come and just
so that
introduce yourself.
People can see your face.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Chair. And thank you. My apologies for coming in late. I had explained to Henry that I had a different engagement with my office, a team building exercise. So I had to exit that to come here and be with you because I thought this was also important. So as you have heard, my name is Chris Naika. I am an architect by profession. I am a Kilimanian, a member of KPF, the Kilimani Project Foundation. But I also associate with Karengata because of business interests. I'm also a director of a school called Kyoto School. We have branches in Kilimani and in Karen, hence my interest in Karen as well. And yeah, so I think it was sometime in September when I was nominated by Kara, I showed the president was nominated by Kara to join the Urban Planning Technical Committee for the City of Nairobi, which oversees or recommends developments for approval or basically reviews developments for approval. Yeah, so that happened in September, but our inaugural meeting did not happen until in December, and then the first meeting for us to review and consider applications was in January of this year. So our committee has so far held maybe 2 meetings every month. From January, 2 meetings. We hold meetings fortnightly. So we've had 2 in Jan, 2 in Feb, and 2 in March so far. And so Henry requested me to come and just give the experience. And we have shared severally, and he has shared the opinion that there are even members who feel Kara should not even sit there because maybe it sanitizes the process. But yeah, but you know, sometimes you have to, someone has to sit somewhere and do something. So in our space in Kilimani through KPF, we are doing a lot of fights with the county, trying to bring sanity into Kilimani. And it's a hard job. Sometimes we even feel like we are losing the battle. But again, now if you sit back and say you will not go to the table where people meet, as they say, if you are not at the table, then you are the lunch. Eh? So we've taken the action to basically be present at the table to try and see if there is impact we can make in our own small way, and we believe there is impact we are making. So one of the first things the committee did when we had our inaugural meeting was to elect a chair. So I was nominated just as a member, but within the membership of the group, you know, external stakeholders, professionals, and the technical people from the county, and they saw it fit to elect me as chair. The committee elects their own chair, and so I became the chair of the committee. One of my first actions was to basically find out how the committee works and what are the reference documents they use to be able to make a decision. And this was our first challenge, because I found that decisions are based on what they call precedents, and without mincing words, I would say political influence. Yeah? So we would receive, the way it works is we receive a list of applications, and there are many. Nairobians are many. There are many, like in a sitting, there are probably 500 applications. There are very many. I'm not even sure it's practical for a committee to be able to sit and effectively review applications in a 3-4 hour sitting, and there are 500. And in that sitting, you are expected to clear all those. The manner in which it is presented is something as well we can work on, because you receive information as a table, and also it comes in a table that is a little bit descriptive. So it would say, it would start with LR number this, and the developer's name, and then it would say what the project is, proposed 250 apartments on half-acre piece of land, location Kilimani. Then it will comment. So you can see how tough it is. So we are now getting into a space where we are asking for more detail, because we're saying, if you expect our technical input, it is hard for us to give that technical input on the basis of that information. So we've now been required, I am now going to request Ghana to start pushing people to run for MCAs, because these guys are running our city. I don't know if there's an MCA yet, I'm sorry, but basically, it's not happening now, because they have now realized the strictness with which we are trying to operate. But in the first meeting, you basically receive a list, and then you receive a parallel list which tells you, easy is our issue. So these ones must pass. And you say, no, that we won't work like that.
So you can see the type of person is a reverend, ordained, Presbyterian church, and so you can see is somebody we trust with our money and with anything else. So he's going to make introductory comments. And then we have, of course, our professional accountant that serves Kara free of charge. Not only the governing council, but everything. He comes to our offices, checks our accounts, he works with the auditors and all these things. Victor, congratulations, a very good job. Well done. I'll come to that when we are closing this item, because most of the people who are here, you need to know them better. They provide very critical services free of charge to our association. And that's why we are able to prosper. So we will ask Mr. Kanake to introduce the item for us, and Victor will respond. We have our auditors. Where are they?
Yeah, there's someone at the back.
They're at the back.
Yeah.
Our auditors. Yeah, please stand so that people can see you. We have them. They are there, and we will be calling on you to comment on our audited account. Thank you very much. Mr. Kanake.
Thank you very much, Chair. I respect that you are my senior. I am 75 myself. But I wanted to clarify that I was not color treasurer from the inception. But I was there as we put the pillar. When we registered color with the help of people like Mike Mills from Karen, I was there. That's 25 years. As when we were registered, but we started much earlier, and then I know we can do it. So I want to just appreciate the coming of all of you, and appreciate my earlier speakers, and I want to now give you the last 23 years now I have been treasurer. I want to just make a statement, to read a statement here from the auditors that allows us to continue discussing matters of finance for the organization. You know it is the lifeline of the organization. Page 5 of this report is the statement of the Governing Council responsibility. The Societies Act requires the Governing Council to prepare financial statements for each financial year, that gives a true and fair view of the statement of affairs of the Alliance at the end of the financial year and of its profit or loss. We are a non-profit making organization, by the way. So it also requires the Governing Council to ensure that the Alliance keeps proper accounting records that disclose with a reasonable accuracy the financial position of the Alliance. They are also responsible for safeguarding the assets of the Alliance. Now, the Governing Council accepts responsibility for the annual financial statements, which have been prepared using appropriate accounting policies, supporting by reasonable and prudent judgments and estimates in conformity with international financial reporting standards and the requirements of the law. The Governing Council is of the opinion that the financial statements give a true and fair view of the statement of affairs of the Alliance as at 31st December 2024 and its operating results for the year then ended. The Governing Council further accepts a responsibility for maintenance of accounting records that may be relied upon in the preparation of financial statements, as well as adequate systems of internal financial controls. Nothing has come to the attention of the Governing Council to indicate that the Alliance will not remain a going concern for at least the next 5 months, 12 months, sorry. My eyes are losing me. 12 months from the date of this statement. This has been approved by the Governing Council on 11th March 2025 and signed. It's here, it's waiting for you to listen to it, then we'll sign. I want to make just a general statement to say this. The information is here with you, and you have received it before. We would like you to make references when I sit down and after our auditor has taken us through his few remarks for the auditors to give us their position in terms of this report. I believe as a the treasurer, other people need to look at what is it that we have done, and then we are able to listen and respond. For the moment, I ask my colleague, Victor, to give us some, after which the auditor, main auditor will join us and give us some information about the organization.
Thank you very much, Treasurer. I will just give you a very high-level review, very briefly, before I invite the auditor to come and give his independent opinion on the financial statements you are seeing in front of you. So, honorable members, if you come to page number 9, you will get the statement of comprehensive income, and page number 10 is the statement of financial position. So I just give you a very quick overview. You can see the grant income in 2024 was 14 million. The previous year, the grant income was 64 million. We call it a grant income. Technically, if this was a trading company, this would be income which you recognize according to the services. As we recognize the income when received. So you see the 64 million received in the previous year was not utilized. That is why now you're seeing a big utilization in the following year of 21 million, now completely wiping off the money that we were given the previous year. So you will see the expenses, operating expenses, reduced to 12 million. The previous year was 14 million. Administrative expenses also are controlled to 1.8 million, compared to the previous year, 2.4 million. Project expenses, which is what I just spoke about earlier there. Canada took projects in the current year of 27 million, and the previous year, 31 million. So the total cost you can see down there is 41 million and 48. So what we call balance of income over expenses is not a profit or a loss. This is balance of grants received. So grants are technically not income as such. These are grants received by CARA, which were utilized. So the accumulative funds brought forward was 25 million. Then when you remove with all the expenses done in the previous year, we are now holding our cumulative funds at 4.2 million. So that was the performance. As I've mentioned, we are recognizing income as and when received. We do not recognize income as and when the donors promise us. That is our policy. Then finally, I just take you very quickly to page number 10. Before you get to page number 10, all the numbers I've given you, there's something written notes. If you see like note 5, you'll see that breakdown on page number 17 and so on, where you can now see the bigger breakdown for you to appreciate it or interrogate. So on the balance sheet, our total assets after depreciation now stand at 551 million. The previous year was 656 million. Cash and cash equivalent. Last year we had 26 million in the bank. This year we got 7.7. Then receivables and deposits, rent deposits, etc. are at 1.8 million compared to 2.4 in the previous year. When we come on to the liabilities, accounts payable, the breakdown, you will see it there on note number 14, which I think is on page 18. Stand at 2.6 million compared to the previous year of 3.4 million. Due to related parties, the breakdown of those people related parties you will see on page on note number 15 is 1.7 million compared to the previous year of 249,000. So, and also we also have some short-term borrowings, which are also from related parties. You see the details on note number 16. So that brings us now
to the so-called balance sheet, which is now the school statement of financial position, which now agrees at 10,173,169. So with that brief remark, the financial statements are all listed there, plus the notes to the accounts. I will, with the permission of the chair, just invite the auditor to come and read his independent opinion on these financial statements of your alliance. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, sir, members of the Governing Council, representatives of various residents associations, good morning. My name is CPA Thomas McKinney from the firm of McKinney & Associates. I have been accompanied by the auditors who are responsible for the opinion I'm about to read. These financial statements were audited and attested by CPA Dan Ajeka, who was the project manager. He was not able to come with me. But we have Samson Osere. I would ask him to stand. He was on that assignment. In the office, we, as usual, for quality purposes, quality assurance and quality control purposes, we had also an officer who peer reviewed the same financial statements. And that was Duncan Nahulo. And we have an officer who makes sure that everything else works. And I think there is engineer Brian Oket somewhere there. So thank you, members, for accommodating us. And Bwana Treasurer, I'm very grateful that you recited the statement of directors' responsibilities. Because what that means is that you have given an assurance to the members that you are the first person who will be called upon should anything go wrong with this August organization. And the auditor is only a guarantor that in the event that you don't live up to the expectation, then I will be called upon to come and confirm that indeed what I'm going to cite to you was correct and fair. With those remarks, members, may I now cite our opinion? We have audited the financial statements of Kenya Alliance of Residents Associations, set out on pages 9 to 20, which comprise the statement of financial position as at 31st December 2024, the statement of profit and loss, comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, statement of cash flows for the financial year then ended, and the notes to the financial statements, including a summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the financial statements present fairly, in all material respects, the financial position of the association as at 31st December 2024, and its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended, in accordance with international financial reporting standards. Emphasis of the matter. As indicated at note 4, the organization has a contingent liability of 7,450,572. And now I want to invite your attention to the last page of this report. And that last paragraph states as follows: that as required by the law, we report to you, based on our audits, that we obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of the audit. In our opinion, proper books of accounts have been kept by the organization as far as it appears from the examination of the books. That the Kenya Alliance of Residents Association statement of financial position and the statement of comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts. The engagement partner responsible for the audit result in
this report. You see here, McKinney and Thomas, my practicing number is indicated there. Should anything go wrong, like it went wrong, for the elephant that had everything that you needed, not many years from now, I will be the one that you take to ISPAC, and ISPAC will gladly take appropriate disciplinary action. At that point, Mr. Chairman, I'd like you now to ask the general membership. First, they must adopt the accounts, and then subject them to discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Very cutting, very frank, and very straightforward. Thank you and your team, as well as our treasurer and Mr. Majani, for the excellent work you have done, not only on these accounts, but on previous accounts. Mr. McKinney, Mutua, and auditors have been our auditors since inception, many years ago. It means they are doing a good job. At one time, they used to do the job free of charge because we could not pay them. We didn't have money to pay them. So they have been with us all that time, but they are very thorough and critical and challenging. So don't read anything there. These accounts are very objectively audited by our external auditors. Thank you, Mr. Ajani, for your input. He is not paid anything by Kara, but he comes here and makes sure our accounts are okay. At one time, we had a lot of problems with our accounts. We could not even, governing council members could not even understand. So we had to get professionals from our audit team, free of charge, to come and help. And a second, of course, but a proposal. Oh, we got a proposal there. After karaoke, he proposes. Yeah.
It was through this scenario. What they intend to do with this
emphasis on what?
on the matter as it was read, which is note 4. Is note 4.
Sorry, we are just.
Rollout. We already have a rollout. We already have our plan designed, and we are very, very optimistic about this year and how we are going to move forward. So maybe at a different platform here through the GC, we can be able to show what are the specific plans that have been put in place to make sure that things are moving smoothly. So that's the assurance I can give. Things are moving smoothly. So that's the assurance I can give you. So, Chair, I think on the other one, maybe I don't know if Chair can respond to that because it's about the GC and note number 4. So it's about Mr. Don to really talk about it, but he could make a comment on that. I don't know if there's another question that I can respond to. I think there's only that. You want to say something? Okay, it's okay.
Page 16, about the salary. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. As you know, the comments have been raised, particularly about liability to the CEO. Of course, it's a matter which has occupied us in the governing council for a long time. And we are very concerned that this liability persists in all this time. We, as an organization, for many years, went through very critical stages financially. And indeed, some of the governing council members had to chip in and to give loans to Kara for us to continue the organization. This is liability inherited from those days. But what we are trying to do now is to make sure that gradually we don't maintain this liability to Mr. Ochieng. Now it's shown on the record that is there. Before it wasn't on the record. Now it's on the record. And it occupies the governing council at every meeting we are discussing it. So it's something our auditor, because they accommodate our concerns and they are very thorough. With what they do, they report independently, and we also appreciate that they are there to help us. After all, they are also residents of Nairobi, so they have to help us. So anybody who has any queries about Kara, about our finances, about how the way the organizations run, whatever, please make sure you raise it. You can communicate with me, you can come to the secretariat, so that we can actually improve the way we manage your organization on your behalf. It doesn't belong to us, it belongs to you. And we are happy if we as the residents of our country, our city, can do something to improve our affairs for the good of everybody nationally. Any other comments? Do you have any comments? But I appreciate the comments made because they are very, very valid, and we actually are grappling with them every day ourselves.
Good morning, everybody. I'll take this opportunity to thank the directors and chairman, of course the chairman and CEO doing very marvelous work. My name is Joseph Okeo from Acacia Residents Association. I'm the chair. This is actually a very good report that has been brought to us for scrutiny, for purposes of us being able to come up with our findings and giving solutions. So I want to thank you, Chairman Amnyaga, and together with your team, and all the Residents Association members who are here. We appreciate you for your coming, and also for everybody who is around us. My concerns are only two. First of all, I want to take you to page number 17. Number 17. I'm concerned about
development partners, and that explains the difference. And then on the other item, yes, like Chair mentioned earlier, because of also these unpredictable receipt of funds, as far as disbursement is concerned, there are times when we need to urgently take care of certain administrative expenses, and we might not have the money at that particular time. So that particular figure consists of partially borrowing from our banker, nothing to worry about because it's being financed, and it will going to be reimbursed to the people who lend us the money. So that is what that figure is about. I hope that is clear. So, Chair, with your permission, if there is no any other comment.
Sorry, Mr. Chair. Yeah, sorry to take you back. On page number 17, Mr. Chair, you are goes to the treasurer. Page 17, that is a notes of the continued all the way to point number B, administrative expenses. Yeah. If you scroll down into the GC, RMSC, AGM, and chairman's forum expenses. Hii inamaanisha nini? Kindly.
Okay. Okay, now on that one, normally when you have GC is the governing council, RMC is the Resource Mobilization Committee, AGM is this one, and Chairman's Forum expenses. When we have this kind of meetings, much as Chair had said that we don't give any money to the governing council members, but at least we are normally able to provide some tea and snacks, just to make sure that they're comfortable. So just expenses related to these meetings. Like today's meeting, we are here, we'll have to pay for this venue, and even for the refreshment we are going to have. So that is what that expense is about. I'm told that our auditor wanted to simplify something, to clarify something, please. Yeah.
Thank you, CEO. This relates to the issue of, this gentleman has raised the issue, why the grants appear to have dropped. Indeed, CPA Majani had clarified about policy.
what I'm trying to do is now to make you understand this policy. When you receive grant money, it is for projects that overlap more than one reporting period. In other circumstances, you to the period over which the grant is to be used. So for the case of Kara, although the grant was running into the current year and they received the money earlier, they accepted it or rather acknowledged it as a grant received for that past year only. We have an alternative policy. It's just like you can try, sorry for this example, it may not be the best. We have an organization here called National Housing Corporation. We have heard of it, have we? They develop houses, including cheap ones, and we call them affordable. But you can also tweak our policy and say, let's have another organization that will specifically build affordable houses. For example, the two can run together, isn't it? So what I'm trying to say is that if in future the governing council tweaks that policy, it will then show that a lot of income, in fact, that was received in the previous year related to the current year. But as a matter of policy, it was recognized earlier, so it does not appear in the current period. Otherwise, there's no reason for concern. This is the point I'm trying to make. There's no reason for concern because the grant was recognized and reported in the previous year. You also raised a question about 2023. But is that clear now? That in certain circumstances, and it's also acceptable, you can spread. So they would easily have reported a high income this year. And that explains why, with what appears to be less resources in the current year, they did a lot of project work. I think that can also be seen. Short-term borrowing. You are expecting disbursement on Friday today. It has not come and you have operations to run. It has been committed. The bank tells you, our system, whatever reason, we cannot disburse it today. So what happens? And you must make a commitment today. Banks are normally lenient and will say, you can draw against the expectation. Now that all the paperwork has been done, that is only waiting for our board credit committee to certify. That's how it comes, and that's why it is only appearing in the current year. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Peter, for that.
Interact with our members. Difference over time is not
appetite, and you can't reach them, or the appetite, and you can't reach them, or deliver what they promised. That is all I comment. Thank you.
I think you also meant something in relation to your
the proposed, item number 6.
Yes. Yeah. Where has he flight to?
They're not supposed to be there.
Oh.
No, they have left.
You will get the message.
Officially.
You put people or something. So he has been there. You point him again to continue as we organize to retire now with the chairman because the age is up. And thank you very much. I want my hand up. Hands up for those who have supported us.
A proposal.
You got a proposal?
Yes.
A comment? Yeah.
No, but on this item, appointing external auditors, you can make comments under AOB if it's not related to this. Under this, then go ahead, yeah, please.
He even comes to support us, to help us in the implementation.
Yes, we do.
He's available anytime we need him, yeah.
He's available for even training us, where we have not been able to live up to the standards. So I propose the same. Okay, we second.
Second. Any
Okay,
objection?
so Engineer Geshe proposed, and then someone else. That has been recorded, so Chair, I think that is.
Any objection to reappointing Makeni Mutua as our external auditors for this year? For this year. No objection, it's unanimous. Mr. Ochieng will communicate with them as necessary. Now, item number 9 is there as a formality, because if you have any items under any other business, you have to raise them when the notice was sent. And we haven't received any so far. So with your permission, I think we can conclude our meeting. I'm told there is another phase of this meeting, which is going to take another maybe 2 hours. So for this particular, I'm very, very pleased to thank you, all of you, for coming, for a very exhaustive discussion, very informed, particularly on matter of finance. And we hope that when we come next year, our next AGM, our situation financially will have improved. That's what Mr. Ochieng is telling us, and we can look forward.
Thank you, Chair, for those remarks, and thank you, members, for being patient with us up to this particular point. I am actually going to, as per tradition, we have some guests who are going to talk to us about things that matter to us. So they won't take long. I think some of them are already here. So we'll have that session, and then we can call it a day. So, Chair, I'm going to request our GC member, Natasha, just to make, I'm going to request Paul to make give vote of thanks, and then after that, I can see we already have our tea and snacks set. So I'm going to request us to take just 5 minutes. We grab our tea and snacks. We come back and sit with them as we usher in our guests for the next session. Please don't leave. I think it's going to be a worthwhile session because we're talking about environmental issues, we're talking about urban development issues, which I think is at the heart of practically every resident association. So after Paul has done his vote of thanks, you can grab your tea and snack and then come and sit here. We can have them as we engage our guests so that we can also save on time. So asanteni sana, please. All about urban development.
Good morning. Good morning again.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for being here today. I'd like to start off by thanking the Secretariat staff for CARA. We often forget. Thank you for the great work you do every day in supporting this noble cause that we have. I'd also like to thank my fellow governing council members. I won't say it's a thankless job. It's a sacrifice we all have to make for a better country, for a better neighborhood that we live in. And I always say that if you are keen on commenting on political matters and holding people accountable, but you do not care about your neighborhood and the space outside your gate or your door, there's a level of hypocrisy in doing so. So thank you to all of you gentlemen. Some have been here, gentlemen and ladies, some have been here for 25 years plus. And I think it's important to especially recognize Mr. Nyaga for his dedication and service to CARA. He doesn't look 83, he probably looks 72. And to just give an idea, he worked with my father, and my father called him a senior, my late father called him a senior, so for me it's hard to even imagine. But he's led by example. He's sacrificed a lot of his time and resources to support this organization and doesn't like to be recognized. So I know even now when I'm talking about him, he's very accountable, but it's important that we do. We thank you for that. We thank Reverend Kanak.